You know what nobody tells you about getting older? That the moment you stop being intimate with your partner, your body starts a quiet countdown. Not toward death exactly, but towards something almost worse. A slow fade into feeling invisible, forgotten, and frankly, half alive. I've spent 30 years working with patients in their 60s, 70s and 80s, and I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Giving up on sex isn't just about missing out on pleasure. It's about losing a vital part of what keeps you healthy, connected and honestly worth waking up for. You might not see it coming. One day you're just a little more tired. Your knees ache a bit longer after your morning walk. You forget where you put your glasses again. Your spouse sits across from you at dinner, and you realize you haven't really looked at each other in weeks. You feel it in your chest sometimes, this heaviness, this loneliness, even though you're not alone. And you think, well, this is just what happens when you get old. But what if I told you that's not the whole story? What if the real culprit is something you stopped doing months or even years ago without realizing the consequences? Before I go any further, if you're finding this helpful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the health insights I share specifically for people who refuse to just accept aging as a slow decline. If this resonates with you, type 1 in the comments below. If you think I'm way off base, type 0 and tell me what you'd rather hear about. I'm here to serve you, and your voice matters. Let me start with something that might shock you. Your heart, that tireless muscle in your chest, actually needs intimacy to stay strong. I'm not talking about romance novels and candlelight, though those are nice. I'm talking about the physical act of sex, which functions like a gentle cardiovascular workout. It gets your blood moving, helps keep your arteries flexible, and research shows it can even lower your blood pressure. Seniors who stay sexually active have fewer heart problems. That's not opinion, that's data. When you stop having sex, your heart loses one of its most natural forms of exercise. And just like skipping your walks or ignoring your medication, the consequences catch up with you. Your arteries stiffen, your circulation slows, your heart becomes more vulnerable to stress and disease. You wouldn't skip your heart medication, would you? So why would you skip something that supports your heart just as much? But it doesn't stop there. Have you noticed your muscles feel weaker lately? Your joints a little less cooperative? Most people think the gym is the only answer, but here's what they miss. Sexual activity naturally engages your muscles, improves your flexibility, and even helps with balance. You're moving, stretching, engaging your core, all without thinking about it. When you stop being intimate, your body loses that gentle, regular movement. Your muscles start to atrophy faster, your joints get stiffer, you become more prone to falls and injuries. And here's the kicker, you start moving less in general because you've lost that physical confidence. It becomes a cycle. Less movement leads to less ability, which leads to even less movement. The bedroom isn't just where you sleep, it's where your body remembers how to stay vital. Now let's talk about something even more surprising, your brain. Most people don't connect sex with mental sharpness, but they should. During intimacy, your brain floods with dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, all these incredible chemicals that don't just make you feel good, they actually support memory, reduce anxiety, and keep your mind sharp. Think of it like a natural brain workout. When sex disappears from your life, so do these crucial mental boosts. Over time, that absence shows up as brain fog, forgetfulness, increased anxiety, even depression. Your brain needs stimulation to stay healthy, and intimacy is one of the most powerful and enjoyable forms of mental exercise there is. Neglecting it doesn't just affect your body, it dulls your mind, dampens your mood, and robs you of the mental clarity that makes life worth living. And while we're on the subject of what gets lost, let's talk about emotional intimacy. When physical connection fades, emotional connection often follows. You and your partner start to drift. Conversations become superficial. You stop touching casually, stop looking at each other the way you used to. You're living together, but you're not really connected anymore. You've become roommates. And that distance, that emotional loneliness, it's not just sad, it's dangerous. Loneliness has been linked to high blood pressure, weakened immunity, depression, all sorts of serious health problems. Physical intimacy is how you tell your partner, without words, that they matter, that you see them, that you still choose them. When that stops, both of you feel it, even if neither of you says anything. The spark doesn't just dim, it goes out. And once it's out, getting it back takes real effort. Here's something else you might not realize. Are you sleeping poorly, tossing and turning, waking up exhausted? The solution might not be medication. After sexual release, your body produces prolactin, which promotes deep relaxation and sleep. Oxytocin reduces stress and calms your nervous system. These aren't luxuries, they're biological mechanisms designed to help you rest. When you're no longer sexually active, you lose this natural sleep aid. Your body stays tense, your mind stays restless. And night after night, you're left staring at the ceiling, wondering why sleep won't come. Quality sleep affects everything: your memory, your energy, your mood, your immune system. If you've been struggling with sleep, maybe the answer isn't another pill. Maybe it's rediscovering intimacy. Let's get personal for a moment. How do you feel about yourself these days? When you look in the mirror, do you still see someone desirable? Or have you started to feel invisible, like your best years are behind you? Losing physical intimacy can devastate your self-esteem in ways you might not even recognize. When no one touches you, when you're no longer desired, you start to believe you're no longer desirable. You stop trying. You stop caring. You retreat. But here's what I need you to hear. You are not invisible. You are not past your prime. Physical intimacy, no matter how gentle or infrequent, reminds you that you're still here, still alive, still capable of connection. It restores your confidence, and that confidence spills into every other part of your life. Your posture improves, you smile more, you engage with the world differently. Don't let the absence of touch convince you that you're no longer worthy of it. You are. You absolutely are. Now, here's something most people never consider. Your immune system actually benefits from regular sexual activity. Studies show that people who stay sexually active have higher levels of immunoglobulin A, an antibody that helps fight off infections. Sex also balances your hormones and reduces inflammation. Without it, your immune system can become sluggish. You catch colds more easily. You take longer to recover. You feel run down without understanding why. Intimacy isn't just emotional medicine. It's physical medicine. One of nature's most enjoyable ways to keep your defenses strong. Let me ask you something else. How's your stress level? Because here's the thing. Sex is one of the most effective stress relievers on the planet. It floods your system with hormones that calm anxiety, ease tension, and promote emotional balance. It's like hitting a reset button for your nervous system. When intimacy disappears, so does this powerful coping mechanism. Stress builds, anxiety creeps in, little worries start to feel overwhelming. You might not connect it to the absence of sex, but your body knows, your mind knows. And over time, that chronic stress affects everything from your blood pressure to your sleep to your relationships. Speaking of relationships, let's be honest. When physical intimacy stops, relationships become fragile, even strong ones. You can love someone deeply and still grow apart if you're no longer expressing that love physically. The playfulness fades. The spontaneous touches disappear. You stop really seeing each other. And before you know it, you're two people living parallel lives instead of one shared life. Intimacy is the glue. It's what keeps you bonded, connected, emotionally present with each other. Without it, even the best relationship can start to feel empty. And that emptiness doesn't just hurt, it changes the entire dynamic of your partnership. Here's the hardest truth of all. If you stop using your body sexually, it starts to forget how. For men, that might mean erectile difficulties or decreased response. For women, it can mean dryness, discomfort, loss of elasticity. These changes don't happen overnight, but they do happen. And once they start, they create a vicious cycle. Discomfort leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to more physical decline. And before long, intimacy feels impossible instead of just difficult. But your body is resilient. Staying sexually active, even gently, helps preserve function. It keeps blood flowing, tissues healthy, nerves responsive. Use it or lose it isn't just a saying, it's biology. So what do you do? How do you reclaim something that feels so far away? You start with conversation. Talk to your partner. Be honest about what you miss, what you want, what scares you. That vulnerability is where real connection begins. If there are physical challenges, talk to your doctor. There are solutions, effective ones, for almost every issue you might face. Don't suffer in silence out of embarrassment. Start small, hold hands, cuddle, touch each other without expectation. Physical affection, even without sex, rebuilds the bridge between you. And if you're single, don't underestimate the value of staying connected to your own body, understanding your own needs, keeping that part of yourself alive. Be patient, be curious, be open. You haven't aged out of intimacy, you've just forgotten how important it is. And the moment you remember, the moment you decide to reach for connection again, everything starts to shift. Here's what I want you to understand. Aging doesn't mean the end of intimacy. It means the opportunity for deeper, more meaningful connection. The loss of physical closeness affects everything: your heart, your brain, your immune system, your sleep, your relationship, your very sense of being alive. But it's never too late. You're still worthy of desire, pleasure, love, touch. You still have time. You still have heart to give and receive. Let go of the lie that intimacy is only for the young. That's not true. What's true is that you get to choose how fully you live, right now, today. Reconnect, reignite, rediscover. Because the most fulfilling years of your life aren't behind you. They're waiting for you to create them with courage and intention. If you've been feeling like something's missing, this is your sign. Reach for more. Not just more years, but more joy, more closeness, more life. You deserve it. You've always deserved it. I've shared these truths with you because I believe in living fully, at every age. Now I want to hear from you. What's one thing you learned today that you're going to carry forward? What's one step you're willing to take? Share it in the comments. Let's support each other in this journey. If this video spoke to you, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0 and let me know what you'd like to see instead. And please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so we can keep having these honest conversations. Thank you for being here. Here's to living life on your own terms, at any age.